It is true that it sounds like the brunt of his stay-home order will have to remain in place past May 4th, but Governor Jay Inslee did reveal for the first time which of those restrictions might be loosened a bit before that day, May 4th, 2 weeks ago yesterday. Technically, there are no changes to announce to his stay-home order, at least as of tonight. He expects the order, though, to be dialed down with the state's recovery plan, which will be based on science, he says, and the number of cases. He wants to see declining death and new infection rates. He also says the state still needs a sufficient coronavirus testing system. We're not there yet. Inslee says, though, there are encouraging signs that could allow him to lift some restrictions early. And here were his first predictions.
Because of the great work in our hospital system, for instance, we believe we can soon allow some elective surgeries to resume, provided health professionals have appropriate personal protective equipment. We also hope we can begin to let people take part in more outdoor recreation that is so much part of our identity as well as our physical and mental health.
That could allow hunting and fishing again in the state, something a lot of folks have been upset about. The governor also said some private construction projects could resume ahead of the May 4th deadline. He says they're still waiting on some of the numbers to come in. The governor said that he was encouraged after talking with the state's health officer, Dr. Kathy Lofi, who says that there appears to be a declining rate of new infections. That's great news, but the governor said if he were to end the orders today or even in 2 weeks, he's afraid, health officials are afraid those numbers will just turn around, those trends will turn around and those numbers will start climbing again. Back to you.
So, Drew, you were just on that call with the state's health officer, Dr. Lofi. What else did she say about the trends here in Washington?
She said they are encouraging, but she is concerned about people ignoring the social distancing. You know, we had this rally with a couple of thousand people here at the Capitol over the weekend. She said that's concerning to them because it would not take much to get those numbers to turn around. So they say, as we keep being told here, we're not out of the woods yet, but the signs are good and we may start to see some of those restrictions getting lifted.
I heard the governor say we can't go back now or it could be catastrophic. All right, thank you.
One sheriff here in Washington says the governor has overstepped his constitutional powers with the stay-at-home order. Franklin County Sheriff J.D. Raymond posted this letter on Facebook, and in it, he says he understands the danger of coronavirus, but also thinks people should be left to change their habits on their own, not under the order of the governor. He specifically said businesses should be allowed to open and churches should be able to hold church services even if they're just drive-in. Raymond added that he wants to know how the governor plans to help the economy and is awaiting details on the plan to ease the restrictions.
Well, restaurants were forced to close their dining rooms on March 17th, and then just a week later, the stay-at-home order went into effect. So we've seen the damage to our state's economy in the weekly unemployment numbers. The monthly report for March was released today, and a reminder, this does not include the thousands of people who filed for unemployment in April. Overall, the state unemployment rate was 5.1%. That is up from 3.8% in February and 3.9% in January. This map shows the hardest hit counties. The darker the blue, the higher the unemployment rate. Most, as you see here, the northeast corner of our state. King and Pierce County's unemployment rate are both at nearly 5%, and while Snohomish County is a little bit higher at 6%. We will bring you the updated numbers when the April report is released next month. If you need help navigating the unemployment rules here in Washington, text the word unemployment to 206-448-4545. We will send you a link to any of the resources you might need. And it's not just renters who are missing their bills. Many of the landlords say that they are struggling too. Ahead in Your Money, Your Future, Michelle Lee explains why thousands of mom and pop landlords say that they are hurting twice as much as their tenants. Also, if you need any help with money concerns, send us an email to money@king5.com.
Campuses might be closed, but schools are still serving up free meals. In Kent, it has quickly become a massive task. As King 5's Natalie Swaby explains, the district has not been able to keep up with the demand.
Parents have provided the pictures and video. Long lines of cars crowding in for free meals distributed weekly at several sites throughout the Kent School District.
I get in line and there's no food. And I said, and this was it started at 10 and it was at 10:21.
That was mom Stephanie Lawson's experience on April 13th. And this week, more problems.
I attempted yesterday and was turned away.
Carrie Grigette had hoped to get food for her 3 kids.
What did that mean for your family? Did you guys have enough food?
Definitely, those boxes could have filled a void.
Each box contains 5 breakfasts and 5 lunches.
Are you worried that families are going hungry right now?
I'm very worried. I know that we have families just at our school that likely are that I'm not able to reach.
Megan Carter, PTSA president at Emerald Park Elementary, has helped pass out the meals and has seen the demand increase.
I know that they're trying to expand as fast as they can, so I'm hopeful that that will help.
A spokesperson for Kent School District said the superintendent was not available for an interview today, but did provide this statement that highlights the more than 168,000 meals the district has been able to provide since the statewide school closure began. On the district's website, it advertises the free meals and says no student will be turned away.
No child turned away doesn't really mean no child turned away.
Now parents are reaching out to school leaders.
When I emailed and said, hey, I wasn't able to receive the boxes today for my children, they're saying, try again next Monday, or go to Covington, Auburn, Maple Valley, Renton, and try to go about getting food that way. And
it's an answer that left this mom more anxious.
The fact of the matter is there's so many kids out there right now whose parents don't know what to do.
The district acknowledges the need for support continues to grow. They say next week they do plan to increase the number of meals in an effort to meet that need. Natalie Swaby, King 5 News.
King 5 and Northwest Harvest are partnering to raise funds to get food to those in need in our community. And today we talked to them about what it's like for people who might need help with food for the first time in their lives.
There's a whole new group of people who are experiencing job loss maybe for the first time in their adult life, and they are unfamiliar with the emergency response system for food. And so they're having to not only address their food needs, but find out about the system and learn about how to manage the process of finding food. And that's really hard for people.
So we hope to raise $7 million, and we're well on our way. So far, we've raised $5.8 million. That's 25 million meals. That's a lot of meals. But again, we are not at our goal yet. So we could still use your help. You can donate right now to the Northwest Harvest Hunger Response Fund by going to northwestharvest.org, or you can text Stop Hunger to 41444 to give. You can choose any amount. It takes less than a minute.
Generosity is making a big difference. Well, President Trump today gave details about his immigration ban, saying it will last for 60 days and will mostly impact green card holders. As King 5's Chris Daniels tells us tonight, it is adding to the confusion for some local tech workers.
Isulu Omar moved to Seattle 4 years ago and says the last 24 hours have been unsettling.
I woke up this morning and I heard this news about, the immigration process, and that it's banned right now, and the green card processes are stopped. So I felt really unstable, and I can't really do anything about it.
She is a native of Kazakhstan, green card holder, and Seattle tech worker who now worries about what is next. The president, following his late-night tweet, announced a pause on immigration to the U.S. for 60 days, and specifically those seeking certain green cards. Caleb Heimlich is the Washington State Republican Party chair.
In terms of immigration, it has been curtailed drastically. I think 60 days is a reasonable timeline. Certainly, we don't support a permanent stay of any kind, but I think a 2-month stay to allow us to start getting things back open makes sense.
Chow Wang runs Seattle-based Boundless, which has helped 100,000 immigrants seeking guidance through the process this year. And he says the announcement adds further confusion at a time when most government offices remain closed.
For the families whose time is running out and in the past have just been accustomed to a renewal process that is not moving anywhere, there's a lot of anxiety over what happens. Are they still here legally? Can they still continue to work and support their families?
Omar says the confusion breeds more consternation.
I feel like it's a scary thing, to think about, like, you live in a country that treats immigrants in that way. It feels like a scary thing.
In Seattle, Chris Daniels, King 5 News.
A debate is brewing in Mexico. Are breweries essential businesses? When non-essential businesses closed down in that country, so did breweries. Well, some argue that beer helps people cope with quarantine. Others say that keeping breweries open also helps farmers. If the closures continue, 45% of breweries in Mexico may have to close. Breweries here in the U.S. are facing the same fate. While they have been allowed to stay open, many microbreweries are still struggling to stay afloat on takeout and deliveries only.